Jennifer's horse. The other one is Luke. That's my horse. And they see me coming. It's kind of different this morning because I normally feed them and do this and that and everything else. And I'm walking straight out here with the bridle in my hand. So we'll see if they get to play some games. They need to know that I'm smart enough, that I'm worthy to be leading them. So sometimes they will kind of run away from my halter. If I have a halter, sometimes they'll walk right up to me. I never walk directly at them. I've got a halter in my hand because that's not the way horses treat each other. So I've been working with them, so Comanche doesn't know. Hey baby, what are you doing, sweetie? What are you doing? Oh, she sees that halter. She knows, because normally she wouldn't step away from you. Now Luke, on the other hand, he kind of follows his mother's lead because she's his mom. She's the dominant horse. When we first let him go, Comanche has a buddy over there by that red barn, little pony. And when we first brought him out here about 3 weeks ago, the first thing they did, Comanche ran over to that corner right there, and that's where they hang out day and night because of her little buddy over there. There's other horses around in that direction over there, but for some reason she is really fond of that other horse, and she hangs around in this corner. She's branched out a little bit. She likes to eat this good grass. You can see there's a lot of really good grass here. Still nice and green. The whole field is full of this good grass. And they're branching out and eating a little bit of it because they're starting to thin this grass up here on this end of the field. You can see here where they rolled around and eating a little bit. You see there, they're big shout down right there. But I think they're kind of content and happy. We rode them yesterday for about 2 hours, and normally every morning for at least the last week I've come out here and I have ridden Luke bareback. So we look forward to our mornings, and he does really well. I taught him how to get into a ditch so I could easily get on his back. I can get on his back from flat-footed, but it's more of a struggle. It takes more effort. More things can go wrong, especially in this snowy weather, icy and stuff. So I taught him how to get into a ditch and let me get on his back. So we'll see how that works this morning. And he's been very good about that. And I think he really enjoys getting away from this corner that his mom has him in, because she's the dominant horse and that's where she wants to be. So it's important that he's there with her, because that's the way horses are. They're herd animals. They stick together. And wherever the dominant horse wants to be, that's where the other horses go. He's doing really good though. He's a great horse. I've been really blessed with dream catchers letting us foster these two wonderful beasts. They're just amazing animals. And we've just fallen in love with them. And they have totally different personalities. Comanche is, I call her prima donna, but she's very, I don't know what you'd call it. She needs a lot of training, attention, human interaction. One thing that she is, though, she is a great mother. She has taught Luke a lot of respect. He's a very respectful horse for the most part. Some people horse standing in a ditch, basically that's very uncomfortable for a horse. He's basically standing, it's kind of like you put one foot in front of the other and somebody climbing on your back. So it's not something that he really likes to do, but he tolerates it because he knows that I ask him to do it. So I like to rub his back. I like to rub his back a little bit so I'll know that I'm coming. And then, well, Jimmy, and he shouldn't be walking off. He knows better than that, but sometimes I let him get away with stuff. And then we go for our morning ride. Do this every morning. I've been doing it probably for a week with him. He loves going to the other end of the field, but he won't do it himself. And his mom doesn't like to do it, so he enjoys when I take him to the other end of the field. So he knows that's where we're going. So he kind of knows the routine. Sometimes I like to switch it up, but notice this morning how he's normally he used to like walk right next to that fence. I've trained him to come out here because it's an electric fence and there's barbed wire and don't like being close to that. But he's doing really good with not walking close to the fence. But he's very curious about this end of the field because there's some good eats down here. That's where most of the alfalfa is. And he just enjoys it. He likes to walk. You can see I haven't kicked him, prodded him. Pretty well, we're loose reins here. He's just wearing a halter and a lead rope and no bit or anything like that. He's very responsive that way. I haven't completely decided where I've put a bit in his mouth before, but I found that he's more comfortable and I'm more comfortable, and it works out better without a bit. If he ever acts up, or I'm not completely against putting a bit in his mouth, but for now, I just like riding him like this. Even when I'm on the saddle and out on the road or wherever, I ride him with a rope halter and a lead rope. That's it. But we'll see. See how it goes. Now he's looking because he knows that I let him eat down here sometimes. But you can see he's getting away from his mother, and he's getting away from the herd instinct of being with another horse, and that's because he trusts me, and we've worked hard over the months, weeks that we've been together, and horsemanship is a partnership. You hear about people calling people horse owners and stuff like that. Well, I don't have a problem with that. It's kind of semantics, but it's a partnership. It's not you don't completely control a horse. A horse does things because you show leadership. He follows that leadership. You'll never see a horse drive a car. You'll never see a horse build a rocket and go to the moon. That's because humans have the big brains and they have the small brains. They're very intelligent because that's what animals, as far as animals are concerned, they're very intelligent animals, but it's our responsibility as humans with the big brain to be the dominant partner. You can see he's looking at his buddy. He's got a buddy over there that lives with 2 goats. He doesn't have any other horses that live with him, but he's got 2 goats. So he's pretty happy, I think. But it looks like he's come over here and look at him. Every once in a while he'll whinny to him, but not very often. They just kind of look at each other and tell each other good morning when they get it. But you can see Luke. He's looking around. He's happy to be over here. He's content. He knows this is what we do every morning. So, he gets to come down here. He doesn't feel comfortable by himself again because he's a herd animal, but because I'm dominant over him, he feels comfortable being here with me. If I was to let him go, he would stay here as long as I did. And then as soon as I walked to the other end of the pasture, he would slowly make his way back to where his mother was and hang out with her. Because horses are herd animals. They feel comfortable with each other. They're uh, they're prey animals. Both of their eyes are on the side of their head, so they can look 360 degrees by turning their head very slightly. Look behind them. You can see how his ears turn. Look, look, look. Can you hear me? Look, look, look. So he turns his ears when he hears me and stuff. When he's looking at cars and stuff. So he's got a 360 degree both sight and hearing because he doesn't want anything sneaking up behind him and biting him on the back legs, trying to eat him. Humans, on the other hand, have eyes in the front of their head because we're predatory animals. That's the word for it. But we hunt and we get meat and everything else. See, Luke doesn't want to go back over there. Kind of guided him in that direction, but he likes it down here, and I like to kind of let him spend some time down here because I would love for him to convince his mother this is the place to be, because there's a lot of good alfalfa, as you can see, and there's a lot of good grass down here, and they're kind of starting to eat the other end of the field out. But horses, like I was saying, are herd animals. They depend on each other for safety. Horses are looked for another animal, another horse to be dominant to them. And that's why humans are successful with horses, is because if you learn the horse language and learn how to show them that you're dominant, then they trust you and they want you to be that way, because then they don't have to be. It gets dangerous when horses think that they're dominant over you, because horses are pretty rough with each other. A horse don't think twice about biting the heck out of each other or kicking the crap out of each other. That's just horseplay. That's what they do. And with humans, we got the big brain and the small bodies, and horse brawn is a heck of a lot more than ours. So it can get really dangerous real quick. Luke doesn't want to go back over there. So he's showing a little resistance, going back and forth the way he does, because he wants to stay at this end of the field. He likes it here. So I'm going to let him turn around and go back over here with him. Looking to be here. There's dogs that stay in this yard over here, and he's kind of looking at them, looking for them. Because sometimes they come out and they're good dogs. They don't mess with him too much, but he's used to dogs. But he's still very aware of everything that's around him. I'm going to just leave the reins loose and see what he does. If he'll stop here or if he'll just keep going. He's pretty good about having a good cruise control. Once he gets walking, unless I want him to stop, he usually keeps walking. So he's been trained well from the start. And now he's kind of reaching down for that alfalfa. He sees that. He likes that. I kind of spoil him because I like him to eat the alfalfa and stuff and come down here and feel comfortable. So, but now I'm going to take him up by the trailer and see what he does. See if he feels comfortable. He wants to fight me a little bit because he likes it down here. So what I normally do is I'll take him up by the trailer and do a couple exercises, and then I'll take him and let him go. And then what I'll do is I'll see his mom's all the way down the other end of the field. If I was riding her, he would be right behind us, because again, she's dominant now, and he wants to be with a dominant horse. Right now he's giving me a little bit of a hard time. He doesn't want to go back up this end of the field, but he knows he's going to have to, and it's important that I tell him that he's going to have to, because he thinks he can get away with telling me what to do. That's when problems arise. But he's a good horse. He's very, I'm just barely pulling on the reins to get him to turn his head. I have to pull very hard though, and he doesn't even have a bit in his head, in his mouth. So, but you can see he's looking at the ground because the snow kind of covers up hidden potholes and everything else. So he's being very careful about where he's putting his feet and stuff like that. Luke is a very sure-footed animal. He's amazing. and snow and ice and everything else. He's just very good at it. I don't know why, but he's just very sure-footed. And I guess because he's so careful. He's always looking at the ground, seeing if there's a hole that he's going to fall in or something like that. One thing that I was taught very young by my Uncle Bud was if a horse is looking down and if a horse has a problem with his footing and you give him his head, because the horse knows much more about whether he's going to fall or whether he's going to trip than you do. So if you start pulling on a horse's head when he's having problems, then you're just adding to the problem. You know, I'll tell you exactly what I mean when I come up to this ditch up here. He's going to step over this ditch and he'll probably look at it. He'll probably look down at it, see if it's safe, figure his plan of attack to step over it. Some people would pull his head up and say, oh, that